All right, hello. So, are you interested in learning character design? I'm sure you are. We all are. Well, I'm teaching a class online called Fundamentals of Character Design, where I cover a lot of things that will help you create the characters you've always wanted to make, whether it's a stylized character or realistic. And I put together a lot of lectures and content to help you get there. And here's how it works. So you sign up for the class, and when the class begins, you will have access to lectures for each week. And I've made a lot of content for this course, so starting with gesture, then basic anatomy as building blocks, shape design, and then there's an assignment where you design a bunch of pirates to apply what you've already learned in the previous weeks. And then from there, drawing heads, faces, and different styles. And then another lecture about adding themes like steampunk, knights, or anything, which follows up with iteration, concept design, and more. And then after that, color and storytelling. So each week has an assignment that you do before the weekly deadlines, and you submit them in the assignments page. And within 24 hours, I will personally provide direct feedback by recording a critique for your work and posting it onto your assignment page. Now, every week we also have a live session where I'm with all the students for about an hour. And the session is recorded, so if you miss it, you get to see it later anyway. And you get to ask any questions that you might have, any concerns about concept art, drawing, the industry, or any kind of clarification that isn't too clear in the lectures. So we're having a lot of fun in there, covering topics of things that you've always had questions about. And of course, if you've ever watched my tutorials, you know how I teach. So it's like that, but a bit more focused specifically on character design from the ground up. And it's all the necessary foundations to really make it happen. And if you think this is for you, I'd say get in before the class is filled up. And if you do sign up, I look forward to seeing you there. And I'm really excited to see all the work that you guys do. But other than that, let's take a look at some footage of what's already in there. Yeah, that's a cylinder, but what would happen if we make that cylinder really big, right? And then we start to have a kind of more stronger, stocky character. And so for this cylinder, we could make it like that, or of course we can make it just huge. And that's what it means to kind of change proportions around. Of course, there's the sphere in there for the elbow. And then we'll do that, or like that, right? It depends on your stylization, or what you want to do for your design. Torbjorn, okay. Actually, I don't know if that character is that strong, muscular. Anyway, so that's my 2 cents on proportion and how you can mess with it. Let's go ahead and go back to these and see what we can do. So we have the cylinder, the second cylinder, and the second cylinder is right where the rib cage ends. So when we had that circle for the rib cage and we had that shape happening, the second cylinder is right about there. Nico Marley's character design from How to Train Your Dragon. It's very, it's pretty rounded at the edges, but the overall shape language is pretty square. Kind of sketched over this earlier, but the overall shape, pretty clear to me, that's definitely square. And then you'll find a repetition of squares in there as well. And you'll also notice, by the way, that he also has the shape hierarchy working for him, where he has this big dominant square, like this. That's the big shape. And then the medium shape will be the size of the head. Of course, it's different because it's mixing different shapes, squares and triangles, but the shape hierarchy is still working. And then the small shape being the horns on the helmet. And so, of course, you don't just do it on one side. Like, you have to actually start designing your thing to make sense. But you can see that there's a big shape, medium shape, and small shape. And it even happens down here. This acts as the big shape, and then, medium, and then small, medium, and small. So it's not like it's not like you have to stick with 3 shapes total, but that's kind of how it works. And so that's for squares. Now, but let's say you wanted to design a character that's more, welcoming or unthreatening or soft or cute, inviting and sort of innocent and something that kind of displays a sense of comfort. And some examples that I could show you are, going to definitely be for circles. So you look at, Jigglypuff, Totoro, and Pikachu. They're all very round and they're not threatening. And one example I could show that I'll kind of sketch over is Genie from Aladdin. There's actually a lot of the main characters in this movie are pretty round and unthreatening, but you see that the outside shapes are very curved and circular, and even the shape of his main circles, and they're connected with curves like that. Again, even the curving of his arm. Cool! I hope you liked the preview, and registration is now open, and the link for that is of course in the description. It's a great deal knowing that art school tuition is around $20,000 a semester these days, which is absurd. So get on this while you can, and you know, I'm already impressed with the work that the current students are doing, both on CGMA and at Art Center where I also teach, and I'm excited to see what you have to offer too. Alright, so have fun and see you soon!